the defense has kind of been, I mean, it's always been kind of subpar, lower than where you'd like it to be. There's some good moments there, but kind of stands out now that you're losing games. Um, sometimes it seems like more than anything, it's just kind of. I think Harrison Barnes last week said that the biggest issue defensively is just kind of like gaining familiarity with the communication. And then Herder said something similar this week, like we just sometimes don't always have the right amount of focus all the time. We just need more consistency with the focus and staying locked in, which staying in tune with each other. It's just sticking with that, on the string kind of mentality. But do you worry about it a lot, or do you think that it is coming around? Do you have any particularly strong feelings about the defense? It kind of just seems like it is what it is right now, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, nothing. It's not good. It's not terrible, but it definitely needs to be better. Especially, with Mike Brown as your coach, you expect a little more, and it's still a little early, but I don't know. I don't have too big of a. I don't know. It just seems like it's been about the same level all year, but I'm not like a big defensive strategist, so I I don't have a lot to say on it. What
Strategist?
strategist is that
I don't know.
the
Strategist. I've never heard strategist. That's interesting.
yeah strategist? I don't know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what's I'm just gonna throw that right back at you. What
Well, they're
do you think?
25th and they're 25th in defensive rating, and I think they were ranked a little higher than that. Um, but like earlier, but like still just below middle of the pack. But I I'm not really worried because the fact that you just see so many good moments where just everybody's just pulling it together. You saw it when they came out of the timeout with 35 seconds left against Phoenix. Granted, they did not complete the stop because the Suns got the offensive rebound, but everything up until that point was great, and that's proof that I mean, of course, it came off of a timeout. You darn well better be playing either whether you're on the offensive end or the defensive end. You better have a pretty good game plan, and of course, Mike Brown kind of got them amped up probably to make an attempt at getting that stop, but it's proof that this team's got it in them, and you just kind of like you work on that communication, you work on that ability to stay locked in for as Mike Brown says, for as close to 48 minutes as you possibly can. And I just think that given all those elements, it's just like, and the history of Mike Brown defensively, particularly last year with the Warriors, the way they progressed defensively throughout the year, and the way that younger guys that never really, because younger guys never really have to think about defense until they get into the NBA because they're always just better generally. And so to see guys take steps in the right direction under Mike Brown and produce one of the best defenses in recent memory, you just got to believe. I don't think the Kings are going to get there, obviously, this year, but I think they can get back up towards the middle of the pack. And if anybody's going to be able to do it, it's Mike Brown. But, it's one of those things where you just see it. Sometimes there's just like, what the heck's going on? Somebody missed something, wide open shot. There's just too many, especially lately. I think over the last 4 games, there's been a lot of wide open lanes to the rim, a lot of wide open threes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like, I don't know if that had to do with the traveling, maybe losing half a step on some of the guys, but I don't know. But I just think that it can only go up, right? Because Mike Brown he's that
Yeah.
guy, and these guys seem so willing to want to get there.
Yeah, I mean, you would think it could only go up from here, right? And I think they've shown improvement, and they seem like they have a lot of guys that have been playing good defense. I think it's just like you said, it's just missed assignments or leaving a guy wide open. It seemed like a lot of easy paint points are still coming their way, so something needs to be done about that. But you wrote a good article on Sabonis and how he's definitely not the problem on defense, although it kind of looks like he is. I think you described it pretty well that he's not the problem. He's doing his part. I think the problems might be coming on the exterior, stopping their guys or leaving guys open on the perimeter for an easy open look or a drive to the basket. So maybe just start there. But if anyone's going to help out, it's going to be it's going to be Mike Brown, a Mike Brown led team. And kind of something that was nice to see in the Phoenix game was when Terrence Davis made a mistake. Um, he was in the restricted zone against a DeAndre Ayton cut, and he just like immediately called timeout, and he like pulled Davis like right to the spot. He's like, "All right, come here." It's like you're in the restricted zone. Like you can't be in the restricted zone. You're not going to get a charge that way. You need to be out here. And sure enough, like couple minutes later, DeAndre Ayton was cutting to the basket, and Terrence Davis was standing outside the restricted zone and drew the charge. So, it's just like, that's kind of like a bigger picture of it, I guess, or a smaller picture. But, he definitely has the right, he's the coach to do it, I guess. He has the right mindset. He's a good defensive guy. And, everything's very technical for him. So, if anyone can do it, is Mike Brown, and I think this team does have it in them. They have guys who can play good defense, so I think it'll come around eventually. I don't think they're going to be like a number one defense this year that good, but yeah, I mean, in the middle of the pack, I think they have the talent and definitely the coaching to do that.
Yeah, they could be a playoff team if they can get to that level because they have a top offense. Um, but yeah, in terms of that Davis play, I mean, it's like, yeah, TD, just step up, man. You're giving him a wide open lane. You're not even defending him. You're just staying in the restricted area. You can't do anything there. Um, and then what does he do later? He gets a charge like 2 minutes later in the game. Um, and that's the exact thing that I'm talking about. And they they'll figure it out. And like Davis, like Monk, you're seeing these guys progress. Like Herter, like every time, like Herter had a beautiful interception in the first quarter against the Suns, and he's just so smart on the weak side, and so they coached him up to be just very good in terms of that, and he's been a plus defender I think this year, as have a lot of guys. But I think just putting it all together is playing together, and that communication and that staying focused and locked in for as close to 48 minutes as you can. I mean, I hate to be such an optimist, about something, but it's like, I don't know if you're going to be optimistic about it. If this was the point when we talked about Mike Brown being the coach of this team, was that, well, he'll make the defense better. But that was the given. Everybody's like, well, is the offense going to be good? I mean, given the personnel, of course the offense is going to be good. But, I think in the long run, there's reason to, I guess, to have some optimism